The ancient astronaut theory works because it draws together different pieces of evidence.
You've probably seen the wild-haired expert passionately claiming ancient aliens shaped human history. But who is the man behind the meme? His rise from communications graduate and bodybuilding promoter to global pop culture figure is stranger than most people realize. Mocked by scholars yet loved by fans, he became the face of a hit show that sparked endless debates. How did such an unlikely figure become both a television icon and internet legend? The answer is bizarre, surprising, and fascinating. The rise of an unlikely icon. Giorgio A. Tsoukalos didn't fit the usual mold of a television expert when he first appeared on screen. With his wild hair, energetic demeanor, and unapologetic belief in ancient astronaut theories, he immediately stood out from traditional academics and archaeologists. He began making small TV appearances in the early 2000s, often introduced as an Egyptologist despite lacking formal training in archaeology. These early roles planted the seed for something bigger, but at the time, few could predict he would become the defining face of ancient alien theories worldwide. His knowledge was less about academic credentials and more about storytelling and popular culture. Tsoukalos's communication degree from Ithaca College gave him a unique advantage. He understood how to engage an audience rather than present dry facts. This skill helped him deliver complex and controversial ideas with conviction and clarity, making him appealing for producers searching for a charismatic figure who could captivate viewers. From a handful of brief documentary spots, Giorgio slowly built a reputation as the go-to commentator for alien-influenced ancient history. Despite skepticism from scholars and outright ridicule from critics, Tsoukalos kept pushing his message. He wasn't just seeking validation from experts. His primary goal was to revive ancient mysteries with a fresh and provocative perspective. His willingness to question mainstream archaeology, claiming that ancient monuments were too perfect to be human-made alone, garnered attention and enthusiasm from a growing base of curious viewers. This tenacity would soon propel him into the spotlight in ways that academic circles never anticipated. The breakthrough came in 2009 when the History Channel released the show Ancient Alien. Giorgio didn't just appear in the series, he became its unmistakable face and driving force. His combination of wild looks and passionate delivery made him instantly recognizable. The show was a hit, running for dozens of seasons and hundreds of episodes, cementing Tsoukalos as the public symbol of the ancient astronaut theory. But this was only the beginning of a story filled with controversy, fandom, and cultural impact beyond television. Many early viewers either laughed at his theories or dismissed them outright, but a loyal fandom emerged that treated his ideas as a new lens for viewing humanity's past. The show's success didn't come from scientific proof, but from the compelling questions it raised. Questions Tsoukalos asked with childlike wonder and unwavering certainty. This gave the ancient alien narrative a powerful platform that shaped popular culture and redefined how millions engage with history and mystery. However, not everyone was pleased. Tsoukalos's rise attracted vocal critics who saw his theories as pseudoscience at best and misinformation at worst. His lack of formal education in archaeology became a focal point for these attacks, undermining his credibility in academic circles. Yet, rather than retreating, Giorgio leaned into the role of outsider, framing criticism as evidence that he was challenging entrenched, unwilling institutions. This tension became a defining feature of his public persona. His appearances were no longer side roles or guest spots. Giorgio Tsoukalos was the star. Every episode of Ancient Aliens featured him, no matter the topic: Egyptian pyramids, Mayan ruins, or bizarre artifacts from around the world. His presence tied the show's wild extrapolations together, giving viewers a face to go along with the mystery. His insistence that many ancient accomplishments were gifts from extraterrestrials became a mantra, repeated by fans and mocked by skeptics. Behind this larger-than-life television persona was a man who transformed his love of fringe history and mythology into a career that defied all odds. Tsoukalos went from obscurity to millions of viewers worldwide, a feat few thought possible for someone so unorthodox. As you'll see, the story of how he got there and what followed is packed with unexpected turns that go well beyond just television fame. The path that led Giorgio to this point was shaped by surprising experiences far from the dusty archaeological sites he talked about on camera, from bodybuilding to ancient mysteries. Before Giorgio Tsoukalos became synonymous with ancient aliens, he lived a completely different life, which involved his work in professional bodybuilding. He promoted several major California bodybuilding competitions instead of studying ancient civilizations, which included the San Francisco Pro Grand Prix. The complete requirements of his position included show organization and athlete management, and he needed to make sure that every performance element in both visible and hidden areas of the event ran perfectly. His thorough investigation of the competitive fitness sector provided him with essential knowledge about branding and media production and event marketing. The artist developed his understanding of audience engagement through his professional work, which required him to develop both performance skills and presentation abilities. The bodybuilding legends, including Ronnie Coleman, showed him respect because he specialized in creating unforgettable events, despite the fact that he never participated in competitions. His experience in creating customer experiences made it easy to handle his first camera role, where he promoted ideas that people considered to be extreme or minority viewpoints. Bodybuilding was not the only career path that Tsoukalos followed during his professional life. His event management work, which he carried out in secret, served as his foundation for developing a personal interest in ancient mystery theories. He co-founded Legendary Times magazine, an unconventional publication dedicated to ancient astronaut and alternative history theories. The two roles required him to work as both editor-in-chief and publisher because he needed to maintain control over two separate domains that required him to establish connections with viewers. The academic journal Legendary Times defied conventional standards. The researchers presented bizarre and unsettling inquiries to test their research framework. Giorgio's magazine advanced the field by providing readers with an easy-to-understand yet powerful story that let them discover these unconventional concepts. The publication gained market presence because he made complex theories understandable through his writing, which created a dedicated yet polarizing readership base. The process of running a magazine required him to develop specific skills which he used to manage his bodybuilding promotion work. Giorgio maintained his dual professional paths through his strong ability to control operations and produce media content and develop news stories. Through his two distinct lifestyles, he developed expertise which enabled him to promote himself and build his personal brand, which he later used for more successful results. The two fields of bodybuilding physical performances and alternative history intellectual demonstrations created a special combination which allowed him to develop abilities that most television personalities do not acquire. During this time, Giorgio's connections grew. He worked with famous ancient alien theorists such as Erich von Däniken, who wrote Chariots of the Gods. Tsoukalos derived his fundamental inspiration from von Däniken's work, which established their professional relationship as a pathway that brought Giorgio into the ancient astronaut research field. He became the director of von Däniken's Center for Ancient Astronaut Research, which he converted from a childhood interest into his professional research work. Giorgio used the magazine to express his concepts and viewpoints, which established him as a prominent figure within the ancient astronaut community before he gained television recognition. The upcoming period established vital foundation work, which developed his skills in storytelling, while he built self-assurance to perform in front of cameras. He had advanced from his previous position as an editor to become a leading figure who would drive forward an entire movement while preparing for his upcoming major career advancement. Little by little, his reputation expanded beyond printed pages and bodybuilding events. His growing visibility would soon intersect with television, where a new kind of spotlight awaited. Legendary Times and Early Theories. Founded in 1999, Legendary Times was more than a magazine. It was Giorgio Tsoukalos's bold statement that the ancient astronaut theory deserved serious attention, even if it flew in the face of mainstream academia. This publication became the first of its kind to focus entirely on the idea that extraterrestrials interacted with humans in ancient times. As editor-in-chief and publisher, Giorgio used the platform to present theories with a mix of scientific curiosity and accessible storytelling that appealed to fans and skeptics alike. The magazine pushed readers to reconsider history through an unconventional lens. It asked questions that traditional historians avoided, challenging the accepted explanations for architecture like the Egyptian pyramids, stonework at Puma Punku, or the alignment of ancient monuments with celestial bodies. Rather than settling for orthodox narratives, Legendary Times encouraged embracing mystery and possibility, fostering a community eager to explore the unknown. Even though these topics were often dismissed as pseudoscience by scholars, Giorgio insisted on promoting a methodical approach to exploring ancient mysteries. He aimed to bring scientific thinking into uncharted territory, encouraging analyses from structural engineers, archaeologists, and other experts who could offer alternative explanations. This balance of skepticism and wonder became a defining feature of the magazine's appeal. Tsoukalous's editorial vision also involved connecting with prominent figures in the field. Collaborations with authors like David Hatcher Childress and Robert Bauval, who brought theories involving anti-gravity and star alignments into the conversation, gave the magazine a reputation as a hub for cutting-edge alternative history. These partnerships helped Legendary Times become a leader in the ancient astronaut movement and positioned Giorgio as a bold, fearless voice willing to challenge accepted knowledge. While the magazine thrived, Giorgio kept working tirelessly behind the scenes, managing his responsibilities in bodybuilding and event promotion, alongside his growing role as a thought leader in ancient mysteries. This unusual workload demonstrated his remarkable ability to juggle contrasting careers, all while expanding his influence. It was during this time he refined the communication style that would captivate millions on television. Legendary Times' influence caught the eye of television producers searching for fresh content that might draw viewers hungry for mystery and conspiracy. Giorgio's magazine wasn't just print. It had become a seedbed for what would evolve into a major TV franchise. His storytelling skills and recognizable persona made him a natural candidate to bring these ideas from page to screen. The magazine's success showed Giorgio how compelling storytelling could turn niche theories into mainstream entertainment. However, it would be his confidence in front of the camera that ultimately transformed him from an editor to an international celebrity. That leap, marked by a mixture of daring and showmanship, would propel him into a new kind of spotlight, unlike anything he had experienced before. With foundations laid in publishing, production, and brand building, Giorgio was ready to step fully into the public eye, a move that would forever change how ancient mysteries are viewed around the world. The stage was set for the explosion of his television career and the global phenomenon that followed: Ancient Aliens, Breakthrough and Backlash. The History Channel began broadcasting Ancient Aliens in 2009, which transformed Giorgio Tsoukalos from a specialized researcher into a worldwide public figure. The public began to recognize Giorgio through his distinctive hair and energetic personality, which made him a permanent part of ancient astronaut theory. The series presented unexplained artifacts and mysterious structures and unknown texts to viewers who could explore the possibility that extraterrestrials had impacted human history. His dynamic performance and unshakable belief in his content enabled him to attract international audiences who found the show irresistible. Ancient Aliens proved itself to be more than a typical historical documentary because it created an extraordinary cultural impact. Giorgio served as the permanent host throughout 200 episodes, which were distributed across more than 20 seasons, that presented a universe where gods existed as aliens and historical events were weirder than fictional stories. The show presented daring inquiries about pyramids and star alignments and government documents which scientists usually chose not to investigate. The combination of showmanship and mysterious elements and hidden systems of control created content which fascinated viewers and turned them into dedicated supporters who wanted to investigate alternative explanations for how humanity began. The show became famous, but its popularity brought intense critique from others. The professional archaeologists and historians rejected the show because they claimed Giorgio did not have the required expertise and proof needed to support his theories. The series faced numerous accusations from viewers who claimed it presented false information while creating fictional historical events for entertainment purposes. Tsoukalos remained committed to his work despite the attacks against him because he believed that his research threatened established systems of knowledge according to his explanations of criticism. His refusal to comply with social norms created an atmosphere of division which made people view him as an outsider. The whole of Giorgio's character developed from his both physical appearance and the concepts he introduced, which he developed through his work in show creation. His work extended beyond his commentary role because he built theatrical connections that linked extraterrestrial visitors to ancient sites and artifacts through his dramatic storytelling. The show required him to work through every detail, which resulted in him creating a television show that blended his fervent dedication to science with all his unconventional beliefs. Ancient Aliens acquired its special character through his presence because the show combined his personal style with its academic content. Giorgio developed his television career while showing up on Coast to Coast AM, which is a late-night radio show that investigates supernatural and mysterious subjects. Because of his work, he became a recognizable voice who provided strange content, which established him as an important figure among people who believe in conspiracy theories and UFOs. He used late-night conversations to investigate deeper theory and to establish connections with people who watched his content, which helped him create a fan base that included people from all age ranges and social backgrounds. The show maintained its original format despite becoming more popular because its creators wanted to create a variety of stories, which included government cover-ups and reptilian shapeshifters and black holes and time travel. The show gained a dedicated viewership who enjoyed watching unexplored territories because it used an extreme artistic method which brought about public disputes. Giorgio turned into more than a presenter when he became the main character who represented a social movement which valued imagination and curiosity more than scientific agreement. Ancient Aliens reached a huge audience worldwide. The show, which was translated into multiple languages and broadcast in dozens of countries, allowed Giorgio to extend his audience reach beyond the United States. The show achieved its success, which led to spin-offs that included Ancient Aliens, The Ultimate Evidence, and Ancient Aliens, Origins, which explored the show mysteries at greater depth. Alien Con conventions emerged as fan conventions which attracted thousands of fans who wanted to meet Giorgio and discuss their theories, while some fans dressed as aliens or ancient deities to honor the show themes. The impact of Ancient Aliens was more than just television ratings. It was the beginning of Giorgio's transformation into an internet sensation. Meme culture and internet fame. By 2010, Giorgio Tsoukalos's image had taken on a life of its own beyond the History Channel. His wild, spiky hair and animated expressions caught the attention of internet users, especially on forums like 4chan, who saw in him the perfect character for comedy and satire. A freeze frame of Giorgio combined with the phrase, "I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens," exploded online, turning him into one of the earliest viral memes about conspiracy theories. Although he never uttered those exact words, the meme perfectly captured his style of connecting nearly every mystery to extraterrestrial involvement. The meme rapidly spread across social media platforms: Reddit, Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, making Giorgio recognizable to millions who had never watched a single Ancient Aliens episode. This unexpected internet fame catapulted him into pop culture territory, where his image was used for jokes about everything from missing socks to strange coincidences. It wasn't just the meme's humor that resonated. It became a symbol for over-the-top explanations and wild speculation in online discourse. What set Giorgio apart from many meme subjects was his response. Instead of resenting or rejecting the joke, he embraced it fully. In a 2015 Reddit AMA, he described being turned into a meme as an honor. His openness won the internet's heart and reinforced his role as a figurehead of internet-era curiosity. Rather than distancing himself, he leaned into the humor, making the meme part of his public persona and allowing it to broaden his appeal even further. This embrace extended to mainstream media as well. In interviews, such as his 2016 appearance on CNN Philippines, topics like his hair and the meme often took center stage, revealing how the joke had opened doors and drawn attention that the TV show alone might never have achieved. Giorgio understood that in the age of digital culture, memes are a powerful form of storytelling and connection. The viral fame from the meme transcended language and national boundaries, with the image recognized worldwide. Wherever it appeared, people instantly understood the joke, making Tsoukalos one of the rare global meme icons linked to a specific pop culture niche. This phenomenon gave him a unique position, respected among UFO and ancient mystery enthusiasts, while simultaneously beloved and sometimes mocked by casual internet users. Giorgio's online popularity led to appearances beyond documentaries and radio. In 2021 and 2022, he made cameo appearances in the television show Resident Alien, where his real-life persona was playfully woven into the fictional story. This blending of internet fame and scripted television sealed his status as more than a niche TV figure. He was now a fixture in contemporary pop culture across multiple platforms. This blend of media savvy and openness to being part of the joke propelled Giorgio Tsoukalos from a television personality into a phenomenon that continues to captivate and divide audiences worldwide. The next chapter of his story would see him expanding his influence far beyond memes and TV screens. Expanding influence beyond TV. Giorgio Tsoukalos became the main host of Ancient Aliens, but continued to work on projects that reached beyond his television role. He launched and co-produced his own series, In Search of Aliens, which premiered in 2014 to explore the world outside of his studio work. The show took its audience to different sites where they could see actual artifacts and ruins and experience real-life mysteries. The video showed Giorgio participating in direct activities as he worked with professionals and handled historical artifacts and pursued scientific research that mainstream scientists considered unworthy. He wanted to meet his fans at a personal level, which he achieved through his work at live shows. Giorgio started his tour with Ancient Aliens Live in 2024, which he used to present his message to fans throughout the United States. The events drew full audiences to theaters, which extended from Illinois to California, while offering ticket prices that started at general admission and reached VIP packages with photo opportunities. Fans interacted with the live performance format by asking questions while receiving explanations of new theories, which TV shows could not provide. The performance of Ancient Aliens Live included more than just one artist. Giorgio presented his audience with other important figures from ancient mystery and UFO research, such as William Henry, Nick Pope, and David Childress. The team created a traveling panel which presented their theories to audiences while they looked for ways to make people interested in their subjects. Their performances created new entertainment options which big businesses usually neglected because their shows performed in cities that lacked popular conventions, which increased their audience and built stronger community ties. Giorgio reached new listeners through his work in radio and podcasting, which included his multiple appearances on Coast to Coast AM. The show, which broadcasts at night to explore paranormal activities, allowed him to present detailed theories which exceeded the limits of television programming. His 2 long appearances on The Joe Rogan Experience became viral for discussing ideas like the possibility that pyramid blueprints were alien in origin, helping him connect with a younger digital native audience hungry for unconventional answers. The television industry maintained its importance for his professional work, while Giorgio pursued experiments with pop culture tie-ins. His high-haired character appeared in the 2021 and 2022 episodes of Resident Alien, which aired on the Sci-Fi Channel. The combination of fictional storytelling and actual existence demonstrated how his public persona had evolved into a distinct entertainment character which people could identify from his documentary work. Giorgio became an international celebrity who attracted audiences to his speaking engagements at conventions and conferences, where he received 5-figure payments for his appearances. Alien Con, along with other fan conventions, drew thousands of attendees who participated in costume events to showcase their alien and ancient god outfits. The events served as more than fan gatherings because they transformed into social movements which showed how Giorgio impacted people beyond both historical and archaeological fields. His stage performances did not define his entire exploration of life. Giorgio officially conducted multiple guided tours, which included ancient sites such as Göbekli Tepe, Pumapunku, and the Plain of Jars. Fans preferred his interactive style because he provided them with authentic experiences which took place at locations full of enigmatic content. His tours demonstrated his belief that people must physically explore history with their complete emotional states in order to understand it better than when they study from a remote position. This wide-ranging presence set the stage for the more personal aspects of Giorgio's life, which contrast sharply with his public persona. Personal life behind the spotlight. Despite being one of the most visible figures in alternative history and ancient mysteries, Giorgio Tsoukalos keeps his personal life remarkably private. Born on March 14, 1978, in Lucerne, Switzerland, he grew up in a disciplined environment shaped by Swiss order and his Greek heritage. His childhood is a quiet, little-known backdrop to the loud, outspoken TV personality many recognize. This contrast between private and public adds a layer of mystery to the man behind the theories. Giorgio married Crix Biebel on March 10, 2013. Crix is an accomplished glass artist who lived in Florida before moving to Los Angeles to be with him. Her work, sold through outlets like Etsy, features unique techniques that make her creations stand out in the art world. Giorgio often wears jewelry made by Crix during his television appearances, subtly sharing a part of their relationship with millions of viewers without saying a word. Those who have seen Giorgio and Crix together describe their bond as genuine and relaxed, a couple who enjoy simple, joyful moments away from the spotlight. This side of Giorgio counters the intense, sometimes controversial persona he projects publicly. Their relationship appears rooted in normalcy and affection, a grounding force amid the whirlwind of his professional life. Giorgio's home reportedly reflects these dualities. One side of his living room is stacked with books on history, and displays ancient artifacts, emphasizing the scholarly and mysterious interests that define his public image. The other side honors his bodybuilding past, showcasing trophies and memorabilia from his former career. This blend of worlds encapsulates the complexity of the man who straddles two very different universes. Notably, Giorgio has never publicly discussed whether he has children, choosing to shield many details of his family life from public scrutiny. His approach is unusual in an age where many celebrities' private lives are widely exposed. He manages to keep the focus on his ideas and work, ensuring that his theories, not his personal matters, are center stage. His early years and family remain largely private, too. While it's known that his parents were of Greek and Austrian descent, he rarely, if ever, shares stories about his childhood or relatives. This reserve has contributed to his enigmatic reputation, inviting curiosity and speculation, but protecting a boundary between the man and the myth. This discretion extends to how he handles public controversies and criticism. Rather than letting personal details get dragged into debates, Giorgio keeps his private life separate, preserving it from the heated arguments that swirl around his work. It's a rare balance for someone who is so constantly in the public eye for controversial reasons. As his fame has grown, so has his ability to maintain this separation, making him not just a memorable figure in fringe history, but a person who carefully controls how much of himself the world truly sees. The way Giorgio balances public spectacle and private life is just one piece of a larger story about enduring relevance in a controversial field. Staying relevant amid controversy. Giorgio Tsoukalos has maintained international recognition throughout his career while facing ongoing public disputes. His advocacy for ancient astronaut theory has resulted in academic and archaeological and scientific communities denouncing his work as pseudoscience. Many people believe he misrepresents historical events for entertainment purposes, yet Giorgio has transformed this public criticism into his public persona as a daring rebel who opposes mainstream views. The experts who resist his theories provide evidence that shows his theories deserve academic discussion according to his arguments. Mainstream archaeology fails to acknowledge historical evidence which has the potential to transform historical understanding because established scientific explanations are at risk of being challenged according to his belief. His belief systems work to establish his identity as a television personality who seeks to reveal concealed information about the world. He has experienced personal disputes through his ongoing conflicts. The specific conflict, which started in 2002 between Jason Colavito and Giorgio, involved Colavito using his articles and interviews to attack Giorgio's assertions. The two parties maintained a tense relationship which extended over multiple years because their discussions about his concepts became extremely passionate. Giorgio maintains his self-assurance despite people who criticize him. In 2022, he participated in an Oxford Union debate where he faced direct questioning from professors and experts. He maintained his original position, which established him as a prominent figure defending alternative history. His followers continue to support him. The audience maintains their interest in his television programs, as well as his public appearances, which include shows and conventions and tours and podcasts and live performances. He uses memes and internet fame to establish connections with his younger audience. Giorgio's impact on storytelling and cultural criticism and popular entertainment establishes him as an essential figure. His success shows a lasting public hunger for mystery, hidden history, and answers beyond the mainstream. Giorgio Tsoukalos's journey from a niche magazine editor to a global icon of ancient mysteries shows the power of storytelling and conviction. Whether you believe in his theories or not, his impact on pop culture and history discussions is undeniable. If you enjoyed uncovering the story behind the Ancient Aliens guy, don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating deep dives.